All right, so in sports, there's rivalries like Iowa and Minnesota, LSU and Mississippi State. And then there's just pure hatred, like Michigan and Ohio State, the Ravens and the Steelers, Yankees, Red Sox, Alabama and Tennessee. Yes, it's a rivalry, but it is pure hatred between these two fan bases, between these two institutions. And let me tell you, after last year when Alabama went up to Knoxville and were handed their first loss to the Vols since 2006, the treatment that they received up there, they're ready to warmly embrace the Vols faithful as they travel down here to Tuscaloosa this weekend, and it's gonna be something here. It's gonna be intense here in Tuscaloosa. I can't wait to see it. But this is one of those deeply entrenched rivalries. I mean, we have it's kind of like the Ohio State Michigan rivalry where people at Ohio State can't use the word M like on any of their academic assignments on that week leading up to the Michigan game because you cannot use the letter M in Columbus. Here in Tuscaloosa, that color orange does not. People don't want to see it. We had a Whataburger right down the streets where the city of Tuscaloosa approved them to have silver signage instead of that bright orange signage that Whataburger is known for. That's how much the color orange is hated around here. People, and I kid you not, people do not put pumpkins out. Or everywhere else around the country, you see pumpkins on people's front porches. They're not out because they're orange. It is that bitter of a rivalry. It's that deep of hatred that exists between these two teams. So I can't wait to see this game because I love matchups like this where there's just that intensity. There's that hatred. It's what makes sports sports. And it's what makes games enthralling. To be quite honest with you, when I look into this matchup, Alabama seems to have a lot more of an identity than it did a month ago. It knows what it is a little bit more. The run game really does open up the passing game, and this is a team that is, I don't want to say reliant on their defense, but their success hinges on the defense's ability to make stops, hold opponents under 20 points because this isn't necessarily an offense that's going to flaunt 35 and 40 points a game. The defense needs to hold opponents below, ideally below 3 touchdowns if they want to win games. And they've been successful at doing that so far. The defense has been ferocious. I appreciate good defense. I'm old school when it comes to that. So it's watching the hitting that takes place, watching the good third and fourth down stops. You don't. It is. I don't know if there's a defensive line in college football that's more challenging to get by than Alabama's right now. So amazing, a lot of great players on that defense, and Alabama's secondary has been amazing as well. Alabama's offense, that's been a topic this year. And what I would categorize it as is an all or nothing offense. There isn't that much rhythm to it. We had that I don't really see this offense assemble drives a lot where you pick up 10 yards here, 7 yards here, another 4 to get a first down, run gain 6 yard, pass gain 9 yards. It's not like that. It's not surgical like that. But the deep ball with Jalen Milrow has been amazing this year. He has an absolute cannon of an arm, and he's very accurate downfield. He's established a great connection with Jermaine Burton. And you've seen it with Isaiah Bond at times this year, but him and Jermaine Burton have really been on the same page. And that's something Alabama struggled with last year was Bryce Young being on the same page with receivers, and I'm seeing it a little bit more this year. So for Alabama fans, that's something that's very compelling. But it's an offense that's very predicated on mismatches as well. They've had those the past 2 weeks against Arkansas and against Texas A&M. But will they have that against Tennessee this week? I'm not sure. But when Alabama finds that weak point, when they find a corner that can't necessarily cover one of their receivers, Alabama's going to hit them deep because they know they're not a very rhythmic offense. The run game is up and down, it's high and low, but if they can find that mismatch downfield, they can really tilt the scale their way. They do have to clean up the penalties. They had 17 penalties against Tennessee last year. That can't happen. Alabama's had a bit of a penalty problem this year as well. You can't have touchdowns and electric plays and big gains get taken back, or else that's just gonna stymie all momentum that they have. But if this Alabama offense can find a good mismatch and capitalize on it on Saturday, if they can get somewhat of a consistent run game going, and they're able to hit a couple deep bombs, I could definitely see them pulling this one off. Tennessee, in a lot of ways, they're similar to Alabama in a way that people can't really diagnose them. They can't really categorize them. They're interesting, intriguing teams to try to dissect and try to just wrap your arms and your head around. It's tough to get a gauge on them. I'll tell you one thing that they have in common: both teams struggled against Texas A&M's defense, and that's maybe a testament to the Aggies. But both teams really couldn't get into rhythm against them, but they were able to pull off wins. So that's something that these two teams have in common as well. I think losing Brew McCoy for the year and prayers to Brew McCoy and his recovery from the injury, because that was really gruesome to see. I felt very bad for that young man watching that against South Carolina. All prayers to him. But I think not having him it's a significant blow to that offense. It's kind of like I was talking about with A&M a couple weeks ago, not having Connor Wegman. Huge blow. It's season altering. Even like Brock Bowers with Georgia, you lose somebody like that, an impact player, it impacts the way that everything flows. But I will also say this about Tennessee too. They're an offense that's very predicated on the run game. A lot more so than last year. You saw them use Hendon Hooker and that aerial attack, the deep passing last year. They had a lot more rhythm on offense when it came to passing with Hendon Hooker, as Alabama did with Bryce Young as well too. But this year, they're more reliant on their run game, and their defense has only allowed 17 points per game, which I'd say is considerably pretty good. So we've got two really similar teams playing each other on Saturday. Don't expect the same offensive shootout that you saw last year at 52-49. Don't expect that. The over/under is a lot lower for this game than it was last year. Can't pick against the Tide at Bryant-Denny. I'm going Alabama 24-20. Expect it's going to be violent here on Friday night. It's going to be violent here on Saturday morning. Tailgates, bars leading up to the game. I mean, You're going to see fights here. It's going to be something. And you know, I'm somebody, I like witnessing a good fight or two, so I'll be thoroughly entertained on Saturday. And this game is going to be chippy because it's personal. From after last year, it's personal. And you're going to see that exhibited on both sides of the ball. I could see it. You're going to see a lot of hard hitting, a lot of guys just taking this game personally. I like the Tide to edge this one out, but I can't wait to watch this one from the press box on Saturday. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you and the time that you took out of your day to watch the video. And if you enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and share it, as well as subscribe to The Era. The more likes and subscribers I get on this channel, the more resources I can attain, and the more resources I can attain, the more value I can provide to you, the viewer. And that is how I show my appreciation for you for the time that you devote to watching my videos. So thank you so much, and have a great day.